Hi, I'm Cash from The Remedy, and today we're going to make my Miraculous Mineral Broth, which is an adaptation of Rebecca Katz's Magic Mineral Broth. This broth is an amazing base for any soup. It includes all kinds of wonderful phytonutrients. Phytonutrients are those wonderful nutrients we get from plants into a gorgeous mineral broth. And look at these colors. We have purples, reds, greens, whites. When I look at all of these colors, all of a sudden, all of the nutrients that they represent just jump out at me. I mean, we have lycopene, we have quercetin, we've got folate, chlorophyll, lutein, tannins, curcumin, anthocyanins, beta-carotene, and all of these represent wonderful nutrients that are great for brain health, for gut health, heart health, metabolic health. They're anti-inflammatory, and they just work to not only give us the nutrients we need, but heal all of the root causes for so much chronic disease that we see on a daily basis in our society. So we're going to start with the basics. We're going to start here with a mineral broth today, which is the basis for not just soups, but a lot of really great recipes. So to make the Miraculous Mineral Broth, we are going to wash all of our vegetables and herbs and give them a rough chop and add them to a huge soup pot. I'm just putting them in here for the sake of not taking over your entire screen with a big pot, but it's actually going to go in 12 quart soup pot. So, but for now, just to give you an idea of what we're doing. So we wash our veggies really well, but we leave the skins on. Why? Because a lot of those beautiful nutrients are in the skin. So we don't want to get rid of that. We don't want to peel that off. So I'm just going to give these a rough chop. Notice that my carrots are all different colors, right? So we have different phytonutrients with those different colors. We have, beta-carotene here. We have curcumins. We have resveratrol in there. There's anthocyanins in these purple ones. So vary the color if you can. Orange is okay. If all you have is orange carrots, that's fine too. But it's a lot of fun to shop or plant if you're gardening different color carrots, as well as with the potatoes, which we will add next. So now we're going to put all our potatoes in there, and again, whatever colors you can. I mean, if you only have red potatoes, that's fine, but I like more nutrients, I like more phytonutrients, and I think it adds to the flavor also. So I have yellow, red, purple. We have a sweet potato here that I'm going to cut up. I'm going to give it a rough chop, and we're just going to add those in. And notice also the skins. So I've washed them really well, but we're going to leave the skins on. We're going to let all those nutrients get into our soup. Yum, look at all those colors. That is looking fabulous. So, got all those potatoes in there. Some purple ones. I'm also going to take a whole stalk of celery, the whole thing, hearts, leaves, all of it, and just chuck that in there as well. And I have a whole handful of flat leaf parsley from the garden. I'm not even going to cut that. I'm just going to chuck that right in there. I also like to throw an apple in there. So again, just wash it really well, give it a rough chop, throw it in there, peel and all. It gives it wonderful flavor. It adds to the nutrients. Delicious. Seaweed, that's a great source of iodine. I'm also going to throw a piece of kombu in there. Okay, and we mustn't forget the garlic, right? Garlic makes everything better. We're just going to give that a rough chop as well. Notice, again, I didn't take all the skins off, which is kind of nice because garlic it's not the most fun thing to peel, right? But in any case, there are some nutrients that we don't need to get rid of, so let's just put them right in there as well. Okay, so we have garlic, we need more alliums, we need some onions. So I use yellow and purple. You'll see that, so I kind of rub off the outermost peel, wash it really well, And again, just give it a rough chop. We're gonna put it in there with peels and all for all of those wonderful nutrients. Ooh, those onions really got to me. That's how you know they're working. All right, so I'm gonna add a few bay leaves also. I have some juniper berries here. You can also use allspice. I'm using juniper berries. I have about a half a teaspoon of black peppercorns here. And then some Celtic sea salt. We'll add about a teaspoon there. We'll taste it later and see how it's doing. So you're gonna wanna fill your pot, your 12-quart pot, up to about an 1.5 inches, 2 inches below the rim, right? And you're gonna cover that, and then we are going to bring it to a boil and then let it simmer covered for about 2 or 3 hours. So once it's simmering, you also want to just tilt the lid a little bit on the stove to let some of the steam out, because you don't want it to boil over. So just leave that a little bit tilted on your pot and continue to boil it. Once you've simmered that for about 2 to 3 hours, go ahead and strain that. You can strain it with a colander or a strainer, whatever you use in your kitchen. Be very careful. And then the broth, once it's cooled, it can be stored in the refrigerator or the freezer. Okay, now it's boiling, so we're just gonna cover that and lower the heat and let that simmer for 2 to 3 hours. So it's been boiling for about 2 hours so far. Just look at that gorgeous, beautiful color. We'll check back in another hour. So after 3 hours, I strained my mineral broth with a colander. You can also strain it through a cheesecloth if you want to make sure that you really don't have any small particles in it. But just look at that gorgeous color. Beautiful. You can just smell all the goodness in there. Make your own Miraculous mineral broth today.